Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the 164 project. In the last episode I dismantled everything from the body and I told that in this episode I'm gonna start mounting the body to the body grill. But before that I wanted to test with the air suspension a little bit. I put the rear packs in just to have some kind of idea how they're gonna fit. And as you can see, the brake caliber is pretty close and I think it's gonna hit if you use it like that. These packs are D2600 model and they are like 8 inches wide. But I think I need to make some kind of like a bracket that also lift the pack on the bottom side. And also on the upper part I need to make some kind of bracket. So I think I can just like move the bags to the inside a little bit. In the left side there's also the mounting point for the bunhard, so that needs to be changed. But anyways, I was planning to make watt link for this car. I already have the piece that goes behind these bolts, so it has this same bolt pattern. I bought it like 7 years ago for my 240, but I think that in this car it's even more like important to have the watt link now that there's gonna be air suspension. So the rear end doesn't move from left to right when the suspension is working. Then I can make the wheel fitment a little bit tighter. But luckily in 164 this mount is bolted in and not welded. So I can just take it off and fit the air suspension first and then start to planning the watt link system. And I also need to figure out where the exhaust pipe is gonna fit. I did a light evening job today. I dismantled the front suspension. It looked worse, like all the rust and stuff, but luckily most of the bolts came loose. First I removed the steering box and I bought this tool. This helped a lot, so I could take all these ball joints off. Then I took these anti-roll bar things out, but these were like really stuck. It seems like it's like very long bolt going inside, so it's totally rusted. So I just cut those off. Then I took the shocks off. The lower bolts, they were like rusted, so they just snapped off immediately. The spring has lots of force, lots of power, so you have to be very careful when you dismantle these. I loosened the nut from the lower ball joint, but don't take the nut all the way off. Then I put the tool in the ball joint and put some tension in it and just hit with hammer, so it's like came loose. At that point, if you didn't have the nut on, the whole thing would just like poof, exploded. After that I put this M14 bar where the shock was and I put a little bit tension so I could see that the weight is on the threads. Then I took off the lower ball joint nut and I just started to loosen the tension. And you need to have extra length thread bar because the spring is pretty long. It is compressed a lot. So after that I took the upper control arms off. The bolts looked really rusted, but luckily they came off. And actually here is where the bar like sits, and this is how you adjust the caster and camber in this car. So you just put shims in here, like here there was like two smaller shims in this side, and this ball joint, the nut came loose, but it was like it just kept getting tighter and tighter, and after I released the cone out of the knuckle, then I couldn't turn it anymore because this is spinning like freely in here, so I had to cut it off. Now I'm removing the lower control arms. I think this is like a very long bolt going through. I already loosened the nuts from that side, but it seems to be really tight. I think it's rusted all the way inside, so I will see if I can remove it or not. I'm not sure. But luckily I still have this other front suspension, and I'm going to take that apart also, so I can just, so then I'm gonna just pick the best parts and build one good suspension. So the other one actually seems a little bit better. At least all the components, the subframe itself is more rusted in that one, but and I also need to remove the rear end same way, so I can take all the bushes out and sandblast everything. But before I do that, I want to check different wheel size in here and see if they actually fit inside here, or if I need to like custom this fender and make some room. I think I'm gonna do it now before I put the body on the grill, so I know if I have to like cut it from the inside or whatever. So I just need to be careful like when I'm measuring, because I don't have the panhard, so it might not be in the center. Here are both of the front suspensions dismantled. This one is the origin from the car, and that one is the spare one. It came apart pretty easily actually, if you think like how rusty everything is and how long the parts have been like together. The lower shock bolts were like stuck in the original one, and the lower ball joint had to be cut off. But other than that, they came off pretty okay. This needed some force because the inner sleeve is like rusted, so it came off from the push rubber itself. The frame is pretty okay. There is like little bit corrosion where it's connecting to the frame of the car, but other than that it is pretty okay. I'm not sure what is this called in English, but this guard, this has some holes, so I need to check if I can repair it, because these are like 100 euros a piece, so I'm trying to save those. The spare axle, the frame itself, it is pretty rusty. It seems that it has been already like twisted, like the force of the spring has twisted the tower. So this is like, maybe you can use it like for rolling chassis or something, but not like on the road. And these bolts were a little more stuck in this, so you can see I had to swing it with the sledgehammer quite some time, so the threads have been smashed. But I think I can just cut it like here. There was like a little bit extra length, but all the bolts, they came off like more easily with this one. I'm gonna use the frame from this one and the bearing and that knuckle, I'm not sure the name of that, but I think I'm gonna use the lower and upper control arm of that suspension. They were a little bit better shape. And also the steering rods were like better, so I think I'm trying to use those. Those are easily replaceable after if they like seems to be loose or making noise or something. But at the first I'm trying to use those. The shocks in this one is pretty okay. They seems to be working and the chrome is still looking pretty okay, like nothing too bad. But I need to see if I can use these, because now I'm gonna put the airbag in here, so I'm not gonna so I can't put the shock in the original place, so I need to make some custom brackets for it. It seems that most of the bushes and ball joints are the same in the 140 Volvo than this, but the upper control arm has different kind of bushes. I'm not sure what is the difference, but I found one shop that sells those, and they were like 180 euros a piece. So if you buy 4 of them, it's over 700 euros, and you can be sure that I'm not gonna buy that kind of money of 4 bushes. That's stupid. So I'm gonna make the bushes from polyurethane, maybe with lathe or then like pouring it. I'm not sure yet, but something custom. But all the other parts I can buy, they are like reasonable priced, so no worries about that. But first I need to sandblast the ones I'm gonna use and remove the old bushes and paint them before put the new ones in. And before that I need to check how the air suspension is gonna work, that if I need to make some modification for the lower control arm and the frame. We'll see. I started playing with the airbags in the front. At the moment there is this Firestone 9000 airbag. It is actually quite a nice fit in here. It's like there's clearance and the length is pretty like okay. I'm not sure what is the drive height, but it's not like far off. So this would be like very good option, but I'm a little worried about the maximum force of these, because I calculated a little bit. If the car weighs like 1,400 something kilos, and the weight distribution is like 52% in the front, so it's like 740 something kilos in the front axle, and that in half it's like 360. And these bags, they are rated like 680 kilos when the pressure is 6.8 bars. If I remember it correct, it was like 1,500 pounds and 100 psi. So if it's like 360 kilos per wheel and this has 680, so it sounds like it's enough, but if you look the geometry, the wheel is like, the center of the wheel is like somewhere here. it has double leverage than the spring. So if there is like 660 kilos, here is the 700 and plus. I actually calculated it. It was 870 kilos for the spring. Recommended was 680. So there should be like 9 bars of pressure in here to like handle the weight. So I think it's little too much if you think the maximum pressure is 10 bar. So it's like 90% of that. So I already have 3 different kind of bags, but I think I'm gonna need to buy another one. These are D2600. These are pretty good, but as you can see, the fitment is not so great. But I actually think I'm gonna use these for the rear. But these have like, I think it was like 1,300 kilos each, and in the rear the geometry is like even better for the spring. The rear is good, there is no problem at all. You can have, even with the car with full of people, so, and the trunk full of whatever, you can just put some pressure and these can handle, no worries. These are the third, I don't remember the specific model or the maker, but these don't have that much like movement compared to these. But look what I did. I put my 240 summer tires in here, and damn, I like the look. The whole spirit of the car just changed when I put these tires on. These rims are 16-inch diameter. They are from Peugeot. I turned these like 10 years ago for my 240. I don't know, I just like them in here. But something I noticed, the rim is not in center if you compare it with the arc. I think they should be like at least 2 centimeter or 1 inch forward. I didn't notice that with these 940 wheels on, because they go like inside. So somehow you just didn't notice that so well, that they are so in the back. And these are, the outer diameter is a little bigger with these. I think I might move the rear axle a little bit forward, because it's not that difficult. You only need to, like, there's this tube that has the bush inside. So I think I'm just gonna move this a little bit forward. The shock can be in here, no worries. The upper one I'm gonna make new. I think I'm gonna make them adjustable, because now when the car has air suspension and I'm gonna like drive it lower than normal, I need to adjust this angle for the drive axle for the cardan. So I'm gonna do this anyway. And of course I have to shorten the drive axle. But if I'm gonna change the gearbox, I have to do it anyway, so it's not that big deal. So I think I'm gonna like move it forward, because I was worried that the tire is gonna hit the fender in the rear here. But if I move the tire to the front, then it might be enough just to bend the lip against this outer shape. So I think I'm gonna go with that. But man, I like the look. I also have these Volvo caps. I made a custom bracket for it. So if I want to, I can have it like with the chrome caps. But I'm not sure which way it is better. I just like the look. That is so funny, like when you change one tiny bit of the car and it gives you so much motivation. It's crazy. That is one badass looking Volvo right there. Sadly, I cannot like see how the front is gonna look, but we'll see what's happening in the next episode. So stay tuned. See you in the next one. Bye.